Lan Wangji, who had 2 thick braids tied by Wei Wuxian, was led aside by an elder. He quietly held onto the elder's robe, watching Lan Qiren harshly scold Wei Wuxian. With one small hand, he lifted a braid, pulling it under his nose to examine it seriously. It turned out that only girls could wear this kind of braid, but Wei Ying had told him back then that boys could wear it too. Wei Wuxian secretly glanced at him and muttered dissatisfiedly, "Such cute little braids." Lan Qiren waved over several disciples, hoping to replace Wei Wuxian and have their own people care for Lan Wangji. Unfortunately, everyone was busy. At cloud recesses, by unlucky coincidence, Qing Hengjun was ill. His illness came on fiercely, pulling away half the manpower. The elder disciples were helping manage clan affairs, and Lan Qiren was guarding his father's bedside day and night, serving tea and medicine. Only a few people came to help at Lotus Pier, all with their own duties, busy inspecting Lan Wangji's room. At the moment, only Wei Wuxian was free to care for Lan Wangji. But instead, the care turned out like this. Originally, Lan Shuya and Lan Moyun, the 2 sisters, could have helped, but Lan Xiaojian was still very young and required close care. Although he was a child now, after his curse recovery, he would become an adult man. The closeness of males and females wasn't proper. Lan Qiren pointed at Wei Wuxian's nose, scolding him for a long time, which vented much of his anger. After all, it was Ying's usual behavior and had caused no real harm. To put it seriously, it's not decent at worst. A few clan elders nearby gently persuaded, and the matter passed quietly. Just as Wei Wuxian was about to leave with Lan Xiaojian, Zhang Fengmian arrived with several clan cultivators and called him back. Casually, the elders carefully asked him about the situation when Lan Xiaojian was found yesterday. The situation Wei Wuxian described was consistent with Lan Xiaojian's account. At the time of the incident, Lan Wangji was indeed just writing at the desk, not testing any talismans. One cultivator said, "If so, it might really not be related to those soul-absorbing techniques." Wei Wuxian replied, "If it's not related to that, what else could it be? It can't be that he wrote the wrong breath into his calligraphy and shrank himself, right?" The copybook Lan Zhan was using at the time had just been examined and showed no signs of evil spells remaining. Speaking of which, that copybook was a gift from me to Lan Zhan. How could there be a problem? As he spoke, his tone suddenly faltered for some reason. "The copybook? Yes." He muttered this to himself, leaving everyone standing there, then hurriedly rushed to the East Wing room, took the copybook, and disappeared out of the courtyard like the wind. This copybook was found by him in the Lotus Pier's Treasure Pavilion. The Treasure Pavilion had 3 floors, each overseen by elder clan disciples. The first floor stored the most common treasures, including various gifts collected from all over. Paintings, calligraphy, magical devices, and precious items were stored there. Anyone from Lotus Pier or honored guests could freely enter. To retrieve something, one only needed the clan leader's approval and a signed record. The second floor held some more private or rare items, mostly relics and private collections of deceased Jiang ancestors or especially valuable and cherished magical treasures. Access to this floor required the clan leader's approval. The third floor stored the most troublesome things, extremely valuable or dangerous and ominous objects. These were mostly evil items encountered or sought on night hunts by clan members. Any attached evil spells or grudges that even top clan figures couldn't completely remove were sealed and suppressed here to prevent harm. Only the clan leader and a few elders could enter this most dangerous floor. The copybook Wei Wuxian gave Lan Wangji was originally stored on the Treasure Pavilion's first floor. He had notified Zhang Fengmian and then took it to give as a gift. The disciple in charge of the first floor was a disciple of the previous clan leader, a relatively young person whom Wei Wuxian affectionately called Little Senior Uncle. When Wei Wuxian came back this time, he asked this Little Senior Uncle about the copybook's origins. The question was harmless at first, but led to something strange. The copybook wasn't recorded in the register. Little Senior Uncle broke out in cold sweat. No record was bad enough, but he immediately considered a terrifying possibility. He rushed up to the third floor, and with the disciple in charge there, they anxiously searched through the records. Fortunately, it didn't belong to the third floor missing items. Little senior uncle felt like he had saved half his life. He then went downstairs to the second floor and asked. There was no record there either. So the problem was, this object had no record anywhere in the Treasure Pavilion. Where had it come from? Little senior uncle patted Wei Wuxian on the shoulder, unsure whether to comfort him or himself, saying, maybe it was just a momentary oversight during registration. During festivals and holidays, there are so many gifts exchanged everywhere. Missing one or two is quite normal. Besides, it's not some particularly rare treasure. If something is missing, so be it. Wei Wuxian laughed it off and said, then does that mean sneaking one or two items for oneself won't be noticed? Little senior uncle sternly warned him not to speak recklessly, while giving some snacks from his sleeve to him. Wei Wuxian enjoyed the bribe while holding the calligraphy copybook and went back to his room. He examined it thoroughly inside and out, and personally tested it with his strange inventions. There was indeed nothing unusual. Still full of unanswered doubts, he paced back to the Lan family's courtyard. In the east wing room, Lan Qiren was fixing Lan Xiaoji's hair, combing the ends with a wooden comb. The loose strands from the braided hair fell on his shoulders, a bit curled and not easy to straighten for a while. Lan Moyun leaned beside his elder sister, eyes glancing at Lan Xiaoji. Lan Wangji looked quite like a girl when he was little. I think the way Wei Wuxian styles his hair suits him well. Lan Qiren laughed. How is that? It's just that he loves to play tricks. How come you've been influenced as well? Wei Wuxian said, he does look like a girl, why not? Lan Zhan just doesn't smile. But when he does, he really looks like a little girl. Seeing it was him, Lan Moyun's eyes brightened, hastily adjusting her posture to sit upright. Wei Wuxian continued, when I was young, senior sister also braided hair for me and Jiangcheng. I never saw Uncle Jiang make a fuss about it. Mr. Lan just loves to make a big deal out of nothing. Miss Shuyan, leave it to me to look after Lan Zhan. You and Moyun, go ahead. Lan Qiren bowed slightly to him and took Lan Moyun, who was reluctant to leave, away. Having obtained Lan Qiren's permission, Wei Wuxian took Lan Xiaoji by the hand and headed to the dock. The two stood by the shore, watching fishermen catch fish. After spending some time with Wei Wuxian, Lan Xiaoji gradually became willing to speak. He grew up in the deep mountains, had never seen a lake or lotus pond, and even marveled at such a wide, open sky, let alone the novelty items carried on passing boats. Pointing here and there with his little fingers, he asked, what's this? What's that? While walking and chatting, Wei Wuxian bought him a piece of sweet cake and some candied fruits and dried snacks. Lan Xiaoji didn't seem very interested. Wei Wuxian clicked his tongue, thinking the Lan family's food habits were deeply entrenched. These treats that children normally love were just not appealing to this little old-fashioned. Seeing his lack of interest in food, Wei Wuxian took him to other street stalls. An uncle selling straw-woven little foxes and crickets tried teasing him, but Lan Xiaoji held Wei Wuxian's hand, coldly looking at the man, who broke into a sweat. The young man at the clay figure stall and the middle-aged lady at the pinwheel stall faced similar chilly receptions, their friendly smiles twitching in frustration. The vendors were trying to make a living. Fearing that Lan Xiaoji would discourage them further, Wei Wuxian hurriedly took him back to Lotus Pier before they could close up in tears. After walking a few steps, Lan Xiaoji was tripped by several round, fluffy snowball-like forms at his feet. The rabbits, originally caught and brought back from the mountain by Wei Wuxian and the girls, raised inside a fenced yard, had noticeably multiplied within days. Occasionally, some palm-sized little ones escaped through holes in the fence and ran about the yard. Cute as they were, with rabbit droppings scattered everywhere, the yard looked like someone had carelessly spilled sesame seeds all over, making the entire Lotus Pier a messy chaos. Wei Wuxian seriously considered holding a whole rabbit feast. The fluffy little creatures hopped around Lan Xiaoji's white boots, and he quickly found himself unable to move forward. Wei Wuxian's mouth curved into a slight smile. Never expected that Lan Zhan would like these furry little fellows. It seemed the gift from back then had truly been the right choice. Lan Xiaoji looked down for a moment, then raised his little face to ask, "Who raises these?" Wei Wuxian squatted down, smiling faintly. "I do," Lan Xiaoji asked. "Why can you raise little animals?" Wei Wuxian asked in surprise. "Why wouldn't I be able to?" Lan Xiaoji said, Not allowed to raise them. It's against the rules. Who says? Wei Wuxian thought for a while and asked, Is it that your family does not allow it? Lan Xiaoji shook his head. Thinking the Lan family's rule forbade pets, he assumed it was the same elsewhere. Wei Wuxian gently patted his little head and pitifully said, Then you must have been very bored when you were little.